Hello and welcome. This is Alchemistexe, and this is the banner overview for the week of September 22nd. So before jumping into that, I wanted to talk a little bit about Mesarthim, a little bit about some unit updates that are really great, and then talk about the Louise shop and how it looks like that might not be a viable option for getting new units anymore. We'll start with that last one first because it's fairly quick. So Mesarthim shards are not available in the shop, and normally they would be because she's just a regular full enlightenment out of the gate Genesis unit, akin to like Julia or Icona, somebody like that. But you can't buy her shards, so you don't get that trade-off of you need more shards of them, but they also cost less to acquire and enlighten. So definitely to me that seems like a worst of both worlds thing. And that's not saying that she's a bad unit. Like, I do think she's a pretty good unit as far as being a tank who can also do damage. That can be really, really valuable. Now Fumi is a great unit. Carla, Oct. So definitely this game finally figured out how to do tanks properly. She does fill that role. It's just the cost is really, really high, and that makes it hard for me to endorse chasing on the banner, because usually I'll endorse the like super hyper boss killer damagers or the indispensable supports or units where it's just they're really good value like Ugachi was. So onto the unit updates. I don't want to go into it all the way because there's a long list, but especially if you're a big fan of like Adelaide got a lot of really good boosts like modifiers. Inaku even got some, even though I honestly don't think he needed any boosts, but I'll take them. But most importantly, now Genesis Mementos are starting to have leader skills, and I think that's really great. The one that I really like is Nimmel's Memento leader skill, because it's just the all-rounder P attack, M attack up. So if you want to field a team of like just the Genesis protagonist characters, you can do that now and have them all have an HP and general offensive stat boost. Some of them are more specialized, but there's no Andex yet, so I'm hoping they release that soon, because he's already so excellent. So getting more Andex would be merrier. And I chose to do him in this map to like carry this team because I think he's a much better example of the kind of unit that's worth 85k. Like, yeah, it was a giant pain to both get him and get him all kitted out, and some of it was luck, getting like 100 shards of him on a duplicate where a banner did that. But definitely the kind of unit that I think can be really, really game changing in terms of like the content that they let you clear. And Mesarthim I just think is not on that level, even if she is good. So okay, that's everything that I wanted to talk about. So let's go ahead and take a look at the banners. And here we are at the banners. So I'm not even going to mention the paid ones because they suck. Overall, pretty good week, assuming you care about Genesis stuff. For the rest of this week, there's good options for units / getting coins to raise the ones that you've got. And then there's 2 good memento banners filled with Genesis mementos. And as an added bonus, they go into next week. So if you want to hang on to your discount tickets and see what is coming next week, if everything sucks, you've at least got that to fall back on. So as I mentioned in the intro, Mesarthim is super expensive, but if you want to go for her, this is the banner to do it. Basically, the same thing is going to apply to Nimmel and Bianca and the Dark Twins. In the case of Shahel and Helene, I don't recommend doing this unless you're doing like a 3 discount tickets to get the 25 Soul Shard selector, because that by itself is a good deal. But otherwise, I think just buying the shards in the shop is the better option. The memento banners are good, just in that they're a good pool, and they're just a 9-step. And you can stack a bunch of discount tickets. Otherwise, not much else to say. I am going to do the one with Ignacio's memento on it next week. And unless there's some crazy mind-blowing banner, I'm just going to throw my discount tickets in it and probably just go to the selector. And if I'm extra lucky, I'll get Shahel's, but not super worried about that. The coin banners, as always, are a great way to raise units that you care about, until you get them to the 20 shard or 20 coins per shard price. And then after that, it's not really worth it anymore. So if you're asking yourself how worth it is, because while you can definitely get lucky, maybe at least half the time or so, assuming you do all 5 steps of a coin banner, you might not get the featured units you want, but the chances of getting at least one are decent. But it's definitely possible to just have 5 duds in a row. I've had it happen multiple times. So it's always really dicey. I just look at that as an added bonus. And for me, I look at the cost of the banner itself, like each step, minus the discount ticket, and how many shards that will buy. Like, for example, Ignacio is the unit I care most about in the Genesis shop. So if I wanted to burn 1 discount ticket, get 200 coins, those 200 coins would get me about 13 shards of him. So that's not bad. It beats the Louise shop by a little bit, but do I really want to do that? Like, I don't think so. But if it was the end of the month and there was nothing else better, then maybe I would. That's just an example to showcase how I look at the coin banners. In general, though, I do like their structure quite a bit, just because it lets you access something very, very scarce. But yeah, the other ones are just the same thing, just which pool do you care about the most? And if Genesis is not interesting to you, Dark Phantom stuff is still around for the rest of this week, including that really good deal of a Dark Phantom memento. But otherwise, that is it for this week. So if you are summoning, I wish you good luck, and I will see you all next time.